Hi everyone, welcome to the second video on the Glitches 3D Prints channel. I'm Logan and I'm excited to have you here on this journey. This channel is all about diving into the world of 3D printing, CAD design, and creative projects you can bring to life at home. We are just starting our journey as a small 3D printing business that is based out of my home. You want to make sure you're here for the long run as we're going to have a lot of different CAD designs, different tutorials, new additions to the shop, and much more. So if you want to secure your place now, go ahead and hit that sub button and join the family. Today, we're creating something special, a custom 3D printed Valentine's Day box. This is a fun and personal project that's perfect for storing love notes or even little gifts. We'll design it with Fusion 360 step by step, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So now that we're in Fusion 360, here is the final product, the finished product of the Valentine's Day box. So I'm going to go ahead and take you step by step on how I created this. Start by getting a heart-shaped picture off of Google or something you can download. You then want to turn that picture into an SVG with a converter, which I will link the one down in the description that I use personally. You can draw out your shape. I just did an SVG, so the lines are pretty much perfect to the picture. But once you have your SVG, you'll download it. You want to come up to Insert and Insert SVG. You will then insert it from your computer, make it bigger or smaller. When you put it in your slicer, you can scale it from there. But once you have it here, you want to make it a pretty decent size, not too big, not too small. You want to do just enough so that when you make it into a 3D item, you're not messing with a little intricate box. You'll see the little difference when we put it into the slicer. It's a lot bigger than we have in Fusion 360, but we can obviously scale it up and down. Once you have it placed perfectly, you'll hit OK to place that SVG and it will turn into an object. And once you have that object, you can click into it and hit E on your keyboard and you can extrude it out. I did 45 millimeters just because I feel like that is a decent sized box to put a few things in. You can go as big as you want. This is your imagination. And once you're done with doing that and you hit OK, you can hit Finish Sketch. You can click the top of the box and then come up here and hit Shell. What this will do is it will actually open up the box itself. You can specify how thick you want your walls to be. I did 3 millimeters. That's just what I did. So that will open up, and then once you did that, you can hit OK. Insert another SVG of the same heart, same size. Bring it over to the next to it. That way it's just easier comparison. Same thing, you want to extrude it out. I did 5 millimeters, so this will be the lid. I just did the 5 millimeters because that works pretty well. The next thing I did after that was we actually imported 2 more of the same heart SVGs. Select the plane that we want. We can rotate it. We can make it bigger or smaller. So we kind of just rotated it a little bit and just put one on one side, and then we did the other one down here. So you can add, we added 2 more, and then once they're added, like the other ones, like the 2 other ones, they will also be added as a separate entity. So you'll have the sketch. You want to make sure, doing on surfaces like this, I always hide the bodies and then view the sketches. So then once I do that, I click on it, we hit extrude, and then I make the body reappear. Instead of extruding out, we want to extrude in. And you do this by doing 0.01, so that way it extrudes in. And once we export this out to an STL file and splice it in the slicer will do these separately. So you can select them separately to do different colors. So now that we have a little decorative piece on the outside, we're gonna work on the inside. So what I did here with the outside layer is I started a sketch and did the inside as a plane. And then what I did is I did the fit point spline, and then I just traced around pretty close. You want to make sure you get close because you want that seal. You just want to trace around the whole heart, and once you do that, it will turn into a solid object once you hit Finish Sketch. So after you hit Finish Sketch, you will have the outline of what you created. I just did this as an example, but you will drag it over. So what you can do, it's kind of free form right now. You can right click it and hit Move Copy, so that way it's like clipping. Line it up within the heart where that outline is compared to the other heart, because we want it to be sitting inside of the heart. So when you close the box, there's no locking mechanism. So once you close the box on top of the heart, it's just gonna sit in there. So once you do that, you will have the solid object. And just like before when extruding the original SVGs, you'll click it, you'll hit E, and you will send it out. I believe this is 5mm. Yes, 5mm. We went up. We did some testing. We had it down to, I think, 3. That just wasn't enough, so we went up that extra 2mm. And then once you do that, same thing as the other SVG here, the container, you want to go ahead that shell option and shell it out again. 3mm walls. So now we printed some Valentine's boxes, and they fit in pretty nicely, but they didn't fit snug. Now it is going to be depending on what type of filament that you're printing with. I know silk PLA tends to fit a little looser, so we came up with a little design on the sides just to put some little notches on it, just to see if that kind of did anything, and it holds it in place a lot better. Let me show you how to do that. So we want to go ahead and from the left side, we want to start a sketch and just select a side. Depending on where your object is in the grid here, it's going to be cut in half exactly like this. So we want to do that. Go ahead and select the center diameter circle. We'll go ahead and just throw a circle here, and then we'll right click and you can hit OK. So now you think the circle's here, but it is really not. It is on that plane, obviously. So what we can do is we can kind of orbit around, get into that circle there, and like I said, a little trick last time is you hide the body, be able to get to the circle, and then what we're going to do is we're going to right click it and we're going to move it. So we're going to show the body again, and we're going to bring it all the way to the other side here. You can kind of orbit around to see where you're at. I would just put it inside of the wall there. So now that you have it in the wall, we can hit OK on that. Again, hide the body, hit the center of it, hit E to extrude, and then bring the body back. So what we can do, it might be the other way. A lot of times when you hit extrude, it's going to cut. Now we don't want to cut. We want to come over here to the options on the right side, and we hit join. So that'll make these solid objects join together. We didn't want it too far out, just literally just out exactly like that, just a tiny bit. Since you already, depending on how close your walls were, and how fine you put them, how close you put them to the wall, your sketch may or may not actually need these. So we'll hit the corner here, and what we'll do is round edges here, select that, and then just bring them in just a tad, just a little bit. And that's how you will add the little notches there. Like I said, it did kind of work, especially for mine. I didn't get it perfect on the edges, so adding those, it actually held it into place, so when you shake it upside down, it doesn't really come apart. So now that our CAD design is finished, this is just the basic one that I have completed. Come up here to File, we're going to go to Export, and it's going to want to automatically do a 3MF file. You can, but a lot of times it doesn't really work for me, so I just scroll all the way down and do STL file, and then you will hit export. So now that we're over here at our slicer, we use Bamboo Labs P1S's, so we're going to be using Bamboo Studio. So now that we're here, you can see we sliced it in. This is not 100%, this is 60%. At 100% from Fusion 360, it is about this big. So we have some other plans to do with the boxes, but just a little box right now, we're going to scale it down to 60 so we can fit both beds on. And if you have a problem where once you export it and you have both files, hide one of the bodies. So like hide the complete lid one and then export just the container. So that's how you'll separate those two entities. So once we have it in the slicer, we can go ahead and select it. We can come up to the paint bucket up here and say we want to have those hearts be a different color. So say we want to have them white. So in the slicer, you won't see them right away. They will look like this until you select the paint bucket, the fill option here. You'll then see the hearts outlined. So you'll just click the hearts and then you're done painting. We'll go ahead and slice this. So we're doing a 50% infill so we can get that little extra strength with the gyroed fill pattern. So this will take a total time of 1 hour and 28 minutes. So let's go ahead, get that on the printer. We'll come back. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take it off the printer here and pull it off and see how she did. Looks like everything went pretty well. This has been sitting overnight, so it kind of already came off the build plate. So we're gonna pull these off, hearts on the outside look perfect. They're embedded in with no lip. We're going to go ahead and inspect it first to make sure that the print lines came out how we wanted to, that there's no bleeding. Just taking a look at the overall quality. Everything seems to check out, so we're going to go ahead and throw that lid on there, and it is a perfect fit. And just as I said, the notches that we made, since I didn't get that line perfect, the notches that we made actually hold it in there very well. So here, I just got a showcase of our older models compared to the newer ones. So the pink one that we have here, this is the brand newest one with both notches. It comes off a little hard due to those notches, and it slides back on, and you just clip it back in. So these other two ones, the black and the multicolored one, they're going to be the ones that do not have the notches on them. These are my very first test prints to make sure everything fit, and as you can expect, they literally just slide right off. They don't hold perfectly. Like I said, depending on which filament you're printing these with, you're going to have some looseness. That's why we put those little bulges in there. That way, no matter which filament, it's going to make those and fit in there perfectly each time. So, well, that is the final product, a custom 3D printed Valentine's Day box, perfect for sharing little love this season. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you'll never miss a video. I can't wait to see what we can create together. Thanks for watching, and welcome to the Glitch community. Until next time, happy printing.